Would you trade a pinky and a tattooed nether region for a life of ultimate luxury? Well, some people in Japan did, and they called themselves the Yakuza. Japan's notorious criminal underworld is not your average mafia. With a history that sounds like it was written by a manga artist after 3 energy drinks, the Yakuza are equal parts terrifying, fascinating, and occasionally charitable. Yes, really. Let's peel back the layers of this tattooed, suit-wearing onion and dive deep into the blood-inked world of Japan's most famous gangsters. A losing hand that built an empire. The term Yakuza comes from a losing hand in a traditional Japanese card game called Oichokabu. Originally, the Yakuza weren't high-rolling crime lords. Their roots trace back to the Burakumin, the outcasts of Japanese society, whose jobs involved all the blood, guts, and death that Buddhism and Shintoism didn't vibe with. Think executioners, butchers, and gravediggers. When life gave these folks lemons, they didn't make lemonade. They set up illegal gambling dens and hawked stolen goods. Not exactly legal, but effective. Slowly, they shuffled their losing hand into something resembling a royal flush, albeit one with blood-stained cards. More structured than your grandma's knitting club. Despite their rebel origins, the Yakuza grew into one of the most strictly hierarchical organizations in the world, like the military, but with better suits and worse consequences for screwing up. At the top of the food chain is the Oyabun, or boss dad, who commands respect, obedience, and probably the TV remote. Beneath him are his Kobun, or loyal sons, who follow orders with the enthusiasm of interns hoping for a promotion. This father-son dynamic mirrors a traditional Japanese family. Sorry, progressive folks, this crew isn't winning any diversity awards. The Kardashian clan of crime. Think of the Yakuza as a mafia version of a high school clique, several families with one queen bee. That bee is the Yamaguchi Gumi, Japan's largest and most powerful Yakuza group, founded in 1915 by Harukichi Yamaguchi. Originally a bunch of dock workers in Kobe, they ballooned into a full-blown criminal enterprise under Kazuo Taoka, their third Kumicho. Taoka, known as the Godfather of Godfathers, turned this ragtag gang into a crime empire that dealt in everything from gambling to real estate, like playing Monopoly with real guns and actual money. At their peak in 1963, the Yakuza had over 184,000 members, more than the population of some cities. Today, due to legal crackdowns and a shift in public opinion, the number has dropped to around 20,400, still terrifying, but more manageable. Welcome ceremony. Joining the Yakuza isn't as easy as signing up for a gym membership. It involves a ritual called sakazuki, which includes sake, candles, and more tension than a blind date with a crime lord. The recruit and the oyabun drink sake from the same cup in a solemn exchange that signifies a bond stronger than blood and way riskier than your average job orientation. If you mess up after joining, prepare to meet yubitsume, the finger-cutting tradition that makes losing your job seem like a luxury. Members are expected to slice off the tip of their left pinky as penance and present it to their boss, who keeps it in a jar like it's a cursed collectible. While this ritual has declined in recent years, the symbolism remains mess with the Yakuza, and you'll pay in body parts, not just apologies. Tattooed from head to elsewhere. One thing the Yakuza are famous for? Their jaw-dropping full-body tattoos, called irizumi. Done with traditional hand-poking methods using steel or bamboo needles, these tattoos take years to complete and can cover everything. Yes, even that. Dragons, koi fish, tigers. These aren't your cousin's barbed wire bicep tattoos. They're symbols of strength, loyalty, and a pain threshold that borders on masochistic. Ironically, most of the time, these elaborate artworks remain hidden under clothes. That's because Japanese culture generally frowns on tattoos, associating them with criminality. Yakuza members only reveal their ink during special gatherings or to intimidate someone who needs reminding. Bad guys with a PR department. Despite their terrifying image, the Yakuza have also built something of a reputation as Robin Hoods with nicer suits, or at least they used to. After major disasters like the 1995 Kobe earthquake and the 2011 tsunami, guess who showed up with truckloads of aid before the government? That's right, the guys with missing fingers and full-body dragons. They've also done everything from disaster cleanup to securing public events. At one point, they even provided security for US President Dwight D. Eisenhower's visit in 1960. That's one way to shake hands with international diplomacy, assuming you have all your fingers. Dirty deeds and deeper pockets. You don't become a multi-billion-dollar organization by selling cookies. The Yakuza's income sources range from drug trafficking and prostitution to blackmail and real estate. They're also master money launderers, often running legitimate businesses, construction firms, hostess clubs, even tech investments to funnel their profits. One particularly clever tactic is corporate blackmail. They buy company shares, attend shareholder meetings, then threaten to expose sensitive info unless they get a payout. Think Wall Street, but with katanas and threats instead of lawsuits. Shinoda-san, crime lord or transit enthusiast. One of the most iconic Yakuza bosses in recent memory is Kenichi Shinoda, head of the Yamaguchi Gumi and an international target of law enforcement. You'd expect a man at the helm of a crime empire to ride in armored limos with a pet tiger in the passenger seat. But Shinoda prefers trains and humble bowls of ramen. Yes, the feared godfather of Japanese crime rides the Shinkansen like your average salaryman to crime boss induction ceremonies. Modest on the outside, Shinoda is still rolling in cash on the inside, with investments ranging from shady construction deals to neighborhood improvement projects. You never know if the guy trimming the temple hedge works for the city, or for someone with a jar of fingers on his desk. Luxury lives behind closed shoji doors. While Yakuza bosses tend to keep their lavish lifestyles low-key, police raids occasionally reveal how they really live. Take Satoru Nura, leader of the Kokukai family, whose mansion looked like it was built to survive a zombie apocalypse. Other top brass cruise around in Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, and luxury Japanese models like the Toyota Crown and Nissan Sima, often armored and upgraded. There's even been sightings of bosses behind the wheel of Lamborghinis, because nothing says crime syndicate like Italian engineering and a loud exhaust pipe. The tragic turn. Not everyone grows up grateful in a Yakuza household. Shoko Tendo, daughter of a high-ranking Yakuza boss, turned her chaotic upbringing into a best-selling memoir titled Yakuza Moon. Her childhood was more crime drama than fairy tale, filled with abuse, addiction, and violence. But after years of turmoil, Tendo reclaimed her life through full-body tattoos that symbolize her strength and transformation. Her story proves that even in the darkest corners of society, resilience can shine through, inked and unbreakable. Now a mother and author, she swapped gangsters for diapers and deadlines, living proof that the sins of the father don't have to define the future. The end of an era? As of today, the Yakuza's numbers are dwindling due to government crackdowns, changing cultural tides, and stronger laws that make laundering and racketeering tougher. For the first time in their century-old reign, Yakuza groups are shrinking not from arrests, but because they can't afford to keep paying members. Imagine being a gangster who got laid off like a corporate accountant. Brutal. Still, the organization, especially the Yamaguchi Gumi, isn't dead. It's adapting, quietly, strategically, and always with a sharp suit and hidden tattoo under the surface. Crime, culture and consequences. The Yakuza occupy a unique spot in Japanese culture, part relic, part reality, part cautionary tale. They blend ancient samurai codes with modern corruption, all wrapped in a painfully slow tattooing session. Whether you see them as criminals, cultural oddities, or bizarre philanthropists with severed pinkies and a taste for ramen, one thing's for sure. They've left a permanent mark on Japan, both literally and figuratively. And there you have it, the inked-up, pinky-chopping, Rolls-Royce riding world of the Yakuza. If you found this video fascinating, smash that like and don't forget to subscribe. Drop a comment below telling us what shocked you the most, the finger jars, the Lamborghini, or the idea of gangsters doing disaster relief. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay safe, and maybe keep both your pinkies. See you in the next one.